Hello and welcome to part 30 of this Android development tutorial brought to you by North Border Software. We're going to continue on with the shared preferences which we set up in the last tutorial. We're going to look at reading the shared preferences. So first of all, I want to do is just create a few variables. There'll be shared preferences. We're going to call this one get data. And we're going to change the background color of the relative layout, so that's something else I want to set up as well here. So it'll be relative layout 1, we'll call it. And finally, the other thing we need to change is the text view to display the user login name. So it'll be text view. I'm going to call this username. Okay, so what we can do now is get on and find the link the Java to the these Java variables to the XML layout. So we'll just find the views by ID. So it'll be relative layout 1 equals relative layout, and it'll be find view by ID r.id, and it was I neatly called it relative layout 1. Okay, so and also for the username, and that'll be a text view. It's find view by ID dot ID dot, and it'll be text view login. Okay, right. So all we need to do as well is the button, which actually launches us into the shared preference app. So let's sort that out as well. So button. And it'll be call it settings equals to button find view by ID r dot id dot pt, and its settings. Okay, so that's the views set up. What we need to do is set up an on-click listener for the settings board itself. So it'll be settings. It'll be set on-click listener. Just change that there. Settings dot on click listener, and it'll be new. View. So just let that auto fill out. Okay, so all I need to do is set up an intent for to launch us into the new into the settings activity. So it'll be intent. Call it I equals new intent. And the easiest thing to do is just copy the information from the manifest file. So there'll be load up the manifest file, and it's already highlighted. So let's just copy that and just paste it in here. So that's what we need to do there. Just need to start that activity. To start activity I. So that's the settings button taken care of. Now what I want to do is actually work with the shared preferences. Now what I'm going to do is just set up a method here called get settings. It'll be just a local preference, local method, sorry, and we'll just create that there. So okay, so first of all we need to set up the shared preferences. So it'll be get data, and it'll be equals to get shared preferences, and it'll be the file we created in the last tutorial, which is my prefs, and it's context mode private again. So it'll be and it'll be context dot mode private. Okay, so that's just recalls the file we created, which is stored in the application area for the phone. So I need to just set up a couple of variables here, which we're going to use the key value data in the shared preferences to store in these variables. So we need one for the color and one for the username. So I'm going to call this call it just color text, and it'll be what we need to do just to get the key value up here. It'll be get data for the shared preferences, and it'll be get string, and it'll be need to enter the key associated with the color shared preference. So it's get key. And now we enter a value for a default value. If the shared preferences have never been created, then we do need to, I guess, allocate a default value if the shared preferences are trying to be accessed. So here it's going to be white. Okay. So we do a similar thing for the username. So it'll be string. I'm going to call this user text, and it'd be equal to get data, and it'd be get string, and the value pair is the value pair will be user key, and we're going to set the default to nobody, so nobody's logged in. Okay, so next thing we need to do, we're going to change the background color, and we would normally use a switch and case statement for this, but we're actually comparing string values. So if you're using Java Development Kit 1.7 or above, which is actually only available from API 19 or KitKat, then you can use the switch and case and compare string values. Prior to that, you can't use switch and case with strings. So the way around that was to use nested if loops. And this is the technique I'm going to use here. Primarily so we ensure compatibility against all versions. It is slightly more long-winded. Switch and case is neater, but it just may not be available for your particular release. So when we actually compare a color or find a value of a color, we can't use a double equal sign, so I can't say if color double equals white. It's just not going to work. So we do this with a different Java method, and what I need to do is just type color text it's dot equals, and then we put the value of the string we're looking at in here. So if it's white, that's fine, and that's all we need to do. So I'll just do the curly brackets for the moment, and it'll be else if, and it'll be again color text dot equals, and it'll be slate, and curly bracket for that, and there's only one condition left, so we don't need an if statement. So it'll just be some curly brackets there because we catch it every single situation. So now I need to do is put the code in to set the background color. We're working with the relative layout, so it's relative layout 1. Then it'd be set background color. We need to go and get the value from the string resource file. So the way we do that is actually get resources, and it'd be get color, and we need the resource ID in there, and it'd be r dot color dot white. So what it's looking for is the value in the actual string resource file. So you'll see here white, and that's the color associated white. So the other ones will be slate and dark green, We'll just use those colours there. So for the slate, it'll be a similar thing. So let's just copy this, save a bit of typing. And it'll be slate. And finally, it'll be dark green. Dark green. So that's how we change the background color. The other thing we need to do is change the username. So it'll be basically user name. It'll be username. Sorry, yep, username dot set text, and it'll be logged. Oops, I just typed up there, so it'll be logged in as a space. Close that off, and it'll be plus, and it'll be, what we need to do is look for the user text, and I'll just enter the name in there. So that's all we need to do for this particular method. What you'll find is if you actually run this app now, when we go into the settings activity, this actually goes into an on-pause state. So we're actually only calling get settings from the onCreate method. So this is when the app first starts up and creates everything, and we then move states. So if we update this settings activity, then move back to the preference activity, this method will never be executed. You can experiment with this. If you try and just run it as it is here, you'll still have the default settings in place. So what we've actually done, when we move to the settings activity, we move this into an on pause state, and then when we're coming back, we've come to an on resume state. So what we need to do is add an on resume method to then just call this particular settings here. So if you do a Control O, it'd be on resume, and all we need to do is actually just call this here. So I can just copy that in there and paste it in. So now all that's left to do is actually give this a run and see how it behaves. Okay, so you see the app is running now. So let's just go into the shared preferences activity. So you see it's logged in as nobody, and the settings are default, so the white screen is default. So let's just hit this, and we'll just type something in, Jack, and we'll save this as slate. So when we go back now, you see we're logged in as Jack, and it's changed to slate. Just check the green one. Log in as Fred. You can see it's logged in as Fred and it's gone green. You can see that's basically working, but there's just one thing I actually want to show you. If we go into the settings now, you'll see this radio button is selected white. It's a little bit untidy. What would be nice to do is actually have the radio button selected to reflect what's actually currently in shared preferences. So that's one of the things I'm going to tidy up in the next tutorial, along with showing you how to actually clear the data, because we haven't done anything with this button yet. So that's what we're going to do in the next tutorial. So catch you in the next one. Bye for now.